Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a communication secret that is so incredibly simple, yet most of us completely ignore it when we actually need it. We're talking about Principle 3 from Dale Carnegie's classic book, Arouse in the Other Person an Eager Want. Let's kick this off with a great analogy Carnegie uses about fishing up in Maine. He notes a hilarious but obvious truth. Personally, he is very fond of strawberries and cream, but he found that for some strange reason, fish prefer worms, so when he went fishing, he didn't think about what he wanted. He didn't bait the hook with strawberries and cream, rather, he dangled a worm or a grasshopper in front of the fish. It's total common sense. But why don't we use that same common sense when we are fishing for people? We constantly talk about what we want, which Carnegie bluntly calls childish and absurd. The hard truth is that no one else is interested in what you want. The rest of us are just like you, we are eternally interested in what we want. So, the only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. Let's look at a practical business example. Imagine you are running a language education academy. You're trying to market a winter school holiday English camp for kids, or maybe a localized Mandarin crash course targeting working adults. If you write your marketing copy just talking about what you want, like getting them to sign up or filling seats, the customer is going to tune out. As Carnegie points out, thousands of salespeople are pounding the pavements today, tired, discouraged, and underpaid because they are always thinking only of what they want. They don't realize that neither you nor I want to buy anything. But both of us are eternally interested in solving our problems. If you can show parents how your holiday camp solves their problem of keeping their kids productively engaged, or show the adult learner how your Mandarin course helps them close better business deals without the stress of reading and writing Chinese characters, you won't need to sell them. They will simply buy. This echoes the story of a job seeker named Barbara Anderson. She wanted a banking position in Phoenix. Instead of writing letters asking for a job, she wrote 12 banks explaining how her 10 years of experience could contribute to their growth. 11 banks invited her for an interview because she focused entirely on their wants, not her own. This principle doesn't just work in the corporate world. It works with children, and even animals. Carnegie tells a funny story about the famous writer Ralph Waldo Emerson and his son trying to get a calf into a barn. They made the common mistake of thinking only of what they wanted. Emerson pushed and his son pulled. The calf was thinking only of what it wanted, so it stiffened its legs and refused to move. Then, the Irish housemaid saw their predicament. She couldn't write essays, but she had more calf sense than Emerson had. She thought of what the calf wanted. She put her maternal finger in the calf's mouth and let the calf suck her finger as she gently led him into the barn. It's brilliant, and it applies perfectly to parenting. Take Stan Novak, who came home to find his youngest son, Tim, kicking and screaming on the floor, refusing to start kindergarten the next day. A normal reaction would have been to banish the child to his room, but Stan paused. He asked himself, if I were Tim, why would I be excited about going to kindergarten? He and his wife made a list of fun things Tim would do, and then they actually started finger painting on the kitchen table. Soon, Tim was peeping around the corner and begging to participate. His parents told him he had to go to kindergarten first to learn how. The next morning, Tim was sitting sound asleep in a chair, waiting to go to kindergarten because he didn't want to be late. Okay, but what happens when you have a major professional conflict? Carnegie himself faced a tough situation where a New York hotel suddenly informed him they were increasing the rent for his lecture ballroom by almost 300%. Most of us would have stormed into the manager's office, yelled about how ridiculous it was, and started an argument. But Carnegie knew they were only interested in what they wanted. He went to the manager and said, if I had been in your position, I should probably have written a similar letter myself. Then he drew a line down the center of a paper and wrote down the advantages and the disadvantages that would accrue to the hotel if they insisted on the increase. Under advantages, he noted the ballroom would be free to rent out for dances, which pays much more. But under disadvantages, he pointed out they would completely wipe out his income because he'd be forced to leave. He also pointed out that his lectures attracted crowds of educated people to the hotel, which was incredible free advertising. The very next day, he got a letter saying the rent would only be increased by 50% instead of 300%. He got that massive reduction without saying a word about what he wanted. Henry Ford summed this up perfectly: if there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. So, tomorrow, before you speak, ask yourself, how can I make this person want to do it? Thanks for tuning in, everyone.